Noyjeetut here, just checking in with another vlog. Actually been meaning to do this for a long time, but I actually kept on putting it off, and here I am with old news. I was actually going to rant about Mr. Popper's Penguins from Jim Carrey. I didn't see it. No, I didn't see it. But I just thought it was sad that Jim Carrey is now going into the same level that Cuba Gooding Jr. and Eddie Murphy have, where they're doing maybe these senseless kids movies that are awful. It's sad because for a long time Jim Carrey was doing some movies, some of them I didn't even like, but they're at least edgy and at least open for interpretation. But movies like Mr. Popper's Penguins is just a downward spiral into the hell of kiddie movies. And I really hope it's just like a one-time venture into that, or maybe he'll probably get suckered into. That's what I'm worried, suckered into, just keep on making these shitty kiddie movies for the rest of his life. And that's the worst part that can happen, because it takes a lot of talented actors. Like I said, Eddie Murphy, Cuba Gooding Jr. have been sucked into there. You can even say Richard Pryor was sucked into that shit for a while. He did Toy, he did that movie where he fixed up a bus and took a bunch of orphanage kids around. Just awful, awful, awful movies. And when I saw that trailer, I was just so depressed. I was like, oh. And it has like the same kind of weird jokes. Like, it's a lot of potty humor, but like there's a scene where a penguin shits in Jim Carrey's mouth. And I don't know, that's what the trailer showed. It may not really happen in the film, but I thought it was funny. It still got a PG rating. It's like, okay. But hey, hopefully he corrects his path and starts shooting for the moon again instead of doing this crap. I just thought, ugh, just made me mad just to see him attached to such a, most of his crappy movies, or movies I don't even like, are just like these risky roles. And you really can't fault him for trying something new. But with this, you just know it's going to be crap. You have to know it's going to be crap from the script. You have to know from the get-go it's going to be crap. And just that he went ahead and went through with it. I don't know if he has children that are growing up. I know Eddie Murphy used to use that line a lot. Well, I got children. I want them to see these movies, and I want to, go with them in the theaters and stuff. Well, it doesn't matter if they're all shitty movies. I mean, I guess it's awkward if you're doing an adult scene in a movie and you're taking your kids to see it. But it's almost just as bad if you're getting penguin shit shoved in your mouth and your children are there with you to see it.
The midget archer army comes. I fall back and punch them in the gums. The midget archer army is coming to die. Gotta lay low. Hit them in the face when they're walking real slow. Pick them off one by one. Punching the midget army. The midget arch army.
This is something that I just really wanted to use to segue into another point I was going to make. But Chris Benoit's dead wife, Nancy Benoit, she had pictures that were being reposted in nude pictures in Hustler, and her mother successfully was able to fight them. But she couldn't get the max judgment, the max payout. She got a few $100,000s, but she could not get she was going to get $8 million, but a law in Georgia prevents her from getting the whole total sum or whatever. And I just thought it was funny because I was just thinking about that whole situation, because there's this YouTube clip. Chris Benoit did one of those biography DVDs that WWE does, where they show some matches and then they talk about his star his rising star, and how he got to stardom within WCW, WWE. I don't know if they even mentioned his ECW stint. But anyway, he's doing this thing where he's talking about how Nancy had a really dark relationship with her former husband, Kevin Sullivan. And it was really trippy, because there he is saying, oh, Kevin Sullivan, he was a creepy guy. He was going to hurt her. I knew he was going to hurt her someday. And he may even killed her. And he's just so, to me, that right there, that's, if you don't know, Chris Benoit ended up killing his son and his wife and himself eventually. But that right there, if anyone asks you, what is the meaning of irony, show them that clip and then show them the news lines with Chris Benoit in 2007, how he murdered his whole family and himself. That's it. I mean, just he was talking about Kevin Sullivan like he's the worst dude in the world, and he ends up doing that. I thought it was so. It was just like, boom. It's just my mind was blown at just trying to process it, because it's in after fact. It's just like crazy to see someone complain about how his loved one was being treated when she was with Kevin, compared to how it ended up being treated with him. So crazy shit. It's just trippy as hell. The guy that posted too he's trying to knock Kevin Sullivan, and this is back in right before it happened actually, and trying to promote Chris Benoit, and it kind of backfired on him too. But his clip's still up. This week's been kind of boring, really. The last 2 weeks have been kind of boring, but something funny did happen. My boss cut off the tip of his thumb, and that was great. Just whoop. Cut it right off with some paper cutters. One of those like guillotine paper cutter thing where you put the paper and you have a big lever of a blade. It comes down and slices the paper. It has a safety guard, but he still managed to cut his tip of his thumb off at like an angle. And the jokes have just been great. It's just been really fun. Like Daniel, when he was being carted off in the not in the ambulance, afterwards when he's been carted off by a coworker to go to the just a little dock in the box, he said, "Give me a thumbs up," and the boss did it. He didn't even he wasn't even thinking. He didn't even realize it's missing kind of part of his thumb. It's funny. Then he looked at his thumbs up and he kind of frowned. Sad panda. And then he got mad at Daniel. Just the jokes write themselves. Daniel said, "Oh, I guess you're all thumbs." I gave Daniel one to use. Give me a 4.5. High 4.5, something like that. It's just really lighten the mood. It needed to happen. I guess whenever a coworker gets maimed, it's always a nice tension breaker.
I don't think it had 4 legs. I think it only had 3. But anyway, I had my feet propped up on my desk talking or doing on the phone or just reading or something. And I leaned way back. I flipped the chair.
I just wanted to really keep this short, but I am doing a UFC prediction contest on my website, Noyjeetut.com. It's for the Versus card. It's going to combine the Versus card and 132. Both of those contests will tally up your predictions, and you'll get DVDs. I got a bunch of DVDs here. Let's show you some. King Kong, UFC Ultimate Comebacks, UFC 79, UFC 53, UFC 63, The Joe Schmo Show, Season 1, Uncensored. Still got this Dragon Ball Z Fusion Reborn in a 10, or I think, yeah, it's some kind of, it may be aluminum, but it's like 10. Comedy Central's TV Funhouse, from the guys that did the SNL Funhouse series. It's really a trippy show. It's like I got mixed reviews on it, because a lot of it's just raunchy for the sake of being raunchy, but it's really pretty funny still on some real immature level that I still am able to access. UFC 55, Bruno Tallo versus Arlovsky. Crankakers Season 1, Uncensored. There you go. That's a good show. That's really, I'm amazed they were able to get away with selling the people's phone calls. I'm pretty sure they didn't get permission from the people that they pranked with the prank calls. But yeah, it was good. I like that character Elmer. I like the shop guy, the old Vietnam guy. There's some funny characters in that. I wasn't really crazy for You Got Mail. Crazy retarded character. But And season 2, Dr. Katz. So yeah, there's some things you can win there. I chose season 2 because it's really the only full season out of 1 and 2. 1's only like 6 episodes or something. And yeah. Put these back up here on my secondary computer's monitor. And there they are. So you can win any of those DVDs. I'll be giving away 2 because it's 2 UFC contests. But yeah, the deadline for this event is today, so you gotta get in before the fights start. So I just thought I'd throw that up there. Links in the doobly-doo. Have a good week, everybody. Probably be posting some more videos. Probably something tomorrow before I leave to work. Some other stuff. Just trying to keep myself relevant here. Keep myself relevant. Oh, the Marquardt thing is kind of weird. Dana White fired Nate Marquardt. Something happened. We're not all sure. I kind of hate that because, like, Dana White's like, he's fired, and, like, he supposedly made weight or was on track to make weight, but he still got fired. Probably because something to do with steroids or some diuretic or something like that that's illegal or banned by the UFC. But it just killed me because Dana White just comes on and says, you're fired, but doesn't give a reason why. And I want to know the reason why. Why even bring it up? Just wait till you can tell all the facts before you even fire someone publicly. Kind of pisses me off. I don't know. So that's kind of a bummer if you're a Nate fan. I never really was really high on Nate. I felt bad for him because he was so close to beating Anderson Silva. He was like one of the closest ones before Chael Sonnen did what he did. Everyone was always talking about how Henderson and freaking Marquardt were like this close to actually doing something there, but couldn't quite pull it off. He struggled. He has problems with his grappling, but he has good submissions, and he has, like, his stand-up is real selective. If he could get an advantage, he can really light you up and just go crazy. But if you're able to stuff him down on the stand-up, you can get away with it. So it's kind of weird like that. But yeah, I don't think he was going to win that fight against Rick Story, but I really wanted to see him fight nonetheless. And it's sad to see him go out like that, because that sucks. And it sucks if he was doing stuff illegally. You can't do that. You can't do that anymore. It's getting much harder for all these professional athletes in the UFC to get away with the loopholes they were getting away with before. And that's a good thing. So yeah, that's really all I wanted to say. I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching. Goodbye, my Qui-Gon Jinns!